Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm MK.
And I'm Courtney.
And Courtney, how are you?
I'm, I'm okay. I'm sleepy. I'm a little sickly, but fine. It seems. I'm okay, but I've just been really busy because, studying for the bar, working, etc. Um, my dad texted me at 9:30 or called me at 9:30 Saturday morning, um, to ask if he could come stay with me Saturday night. Um, and so I was like, yes. And like me and my dad get along really well, and it's fine. It's just a little last minute. So my dad came in town, which was fun. And we went to Fratelli's, which is this little Italian place around the corner that I'm sure I talked about because me and Zach went there too. Um, and it was so good. And then Sunday I like worked a lot. I did a lot of like studying and essay practice and stuff. And then we went to Jaeger's, which is where we usually get crawfish, but we went and just had like regular food and they had like a band and stuff. So I watched the Knicks game because I was driving, not drinking. So I drank my Heineken Zero and watched the Knicks win. So I'm hoping they pull it out. It's not looking great for them, but it wasn't looking great for them that day either. And they came from a 20-point loss to
No.
win. So here's hoping. We'll know. Is today Thursday? We'll know today. I think is today. Is it today or tomorrow? I slept all day yesterday because I was sick, and I've
Yeah.
lost track of my days. So I think they played last night, which means they'll play again tomorrow. No, they played tonight. They played tonight. We'll know tonight if they're still in it or not because they're down 3-1 on the Pacers right now,
Hmm.
which is a bummer. I mean, Indiana's great. It's fine. I don't have anything against the Pacers
Yeah.
necessarily, but I like the Knicks to win. But then his truck broke down, so then he was here for an extra night, and we spent all day Monday with truck things. So I ended up really behind on sleep and work and studying, and I was ahead by the time he left, but then because I got so sick the day after,
Yeah.
I am now like, if I don't do my essay tonight that I have to do, I'm gonna be behind, which is a real bummer.
Yeah.
Which we started recording earlier, so that's nice, but just a real bummer because I'm exhausted. But yeah, so it was good to see my dad though, and we watched some fun movies. We watched the movie Novocaine on, I
Dan
want to
watched
say
that.
Peacock or Paramount.
Dan watched that on the plane with
I
us.
really liked it. You should watch it. I think it's on Paramount.
Okay. Why
Yeah.
did I? Oh, I didn't want. Oh, I just wanted to read.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair. Um, but yeah, so we watched that and watched some good movies, watched the AMAs. A little I want to say lackluster, but like it was really good seeing like Janet Jackson perform and stuff. Like that was
Oh.
fun, and J-Lo is always a hit. So like there was some, and like it was really fun to see like Eminem win the award for hip hop artist over Drake and Kendrick. Like, come at me. I
Right.
love Eminem. So like it was an interesting AMAs, I guess, but it was fun. Everybody was hoping for a Taylor Swift announcement, and she wasn't even there. So I was like, sorry about it, guys. But yeah, so that's how I am. How are you?
I'm okay. This weekend was really kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Because I went to Florida. Um
Oh yeah. I
and
forgot that happened.
I went to Florida to see my grandma. She was not doing so hot. I'm not really sure, like it's like she's not like on her deathbed.
Sure.
I think a lot of people, when I said that she wasn't doing well and I was going to visit, were like imagining that she was like actively dying. And she's like, she's 80, had emphysema, got RSV, like has still not fully recovered, is on an oxygen tank, like. But the biggest reason that my uncle was like nervous and wanted us to like come down and see her is because she kept like saying really offhanded shit about dying. And she'd be like,
That's
yeah,
not funny. I'm sorry, that's not funny, but like
no,
it's
But I mean, a little bit it is when you're just like, oh Jesus,
Well, it
just
sounds like something I would do. Like if I was like, I'm about to die, I'm going to start saying these things about my death so that everyone's
yeah,
prepared
like
because I
but like
prepare everyone
right.
beforehand.
But like she would like every day she'll like take him on a tour of her jewelry box and start telling him who everything in the jewelry box is going to, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I've never even
Mhm.
seen those
Yeah,
rings before. Like you got to write this shit down. Like what is
that
happening?
is exactly what I would do though.
And but like so we spent a lot of time with her and everything, and I like basically had a hard talk with her, and I was like, listen, you gotta stop with the death talk. Like you cannot be in a rush to get out of here. And she was like, no, no, I'm not. And I really do think she just like needed to see everybody, like to have that
Yeah.
um but it was nice. The reason it was a mixed bag though was because like obviously that was like tough and whatever, but Dan and I went down, and so did my parents. And then my sister and the kids drove up from Texas, and my brother and Renee drove up from Naples. So, and then obviously, like, my uncle and all his kids were there and everything. So, like, it was just a whole big family shenanigans. Um, Layla still hates everyone. Uh,
I was wondering, she seems to be moving around a lot more.
yeah, she loves animals and children, but
And
adults,
that's
no.
it. Cool.
No, she does not want any adult who's not her mom or dad. We'll see.
Excellent.
Um, but yeah, so it was good. It was also exhausting because we flew out on a Friday night and flew back on or on Monday morning, and like I really thought that I was gonna be able to handle that, and I am not able to travel like that anymore. I do not know how I ever did shit like that. And that wasn't even with like
That was
time
like
zone
5 years
changes.
ago. Yeah, like you were doing like 5 years ago, you could
I
handle it
know. I
now.
was like, yeah, like 5 years ago in Thailand, I was country hopping on the weekends. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, dear God, I had to take two less than 3 hour flights. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I mean, last year I was traveling every other month, and now like my dad comes in for the weekend, and I can't recover. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I genuinely, I'm like, who is that bitch who like bought a ticket to Vietnam 5 days before I had to leave? Like, I don't know her.
Mhm.
Now
Yeah.
I'm getting mad because I have 39 days before I go to Europe, and I don't have every single restaurant reservation done.
I want you to know I really hate when you tell me numbers because that means that's how far I'm away from the bar. Plus, like 5 days, you're going the week before the bar, I think.
Yeah.
But that feels really close, and
It
I'm
does.
really not
Um,
ready.
I honestly haven't looked at that clock in a couple days, and
Mhm.
that number just scared the shit out of me. And this is for something good, so I'm so sorry.
Yeah, every time the only reason I know the number is because you tell me every Monday. That is the only reason I
And I
know what number
swear,
I am.
I don't think I said anything last Monday because I swear to God, the last time I looked, it was 48. Oh no, but we're not recording on a Monday now.
It's not Monday. It's
Today's not
Thursday.
Monday, so it's been more than a week. So that would make sense because I was like, no, like I'm like, I swear, I have it on the homepage of my phone, right there. Do not,
Mm,
I still don't
don't
look
do
at it.
that. I
I
mean,
don't,
that's exciting though. It's
but
exciting.
like it's there, and I still have no concept of the number. I genuinely thought it was 48, and now it's 39, and I'm like, oh shit,
Mm.
wow.
Yeah,
But
no, I actively do not look at it. Like I just look at to make sure I'm on track with my bar prep. And as long as I'm on track there, it doesn't
yeah,
matter the day.
yeah,
I don't, it's none of my business what day it is. I don't need to know. So,
good, good. But yeah, so since we're both spiraling because we're getting old apparently and
God, I
cranky.
feel like I'm 90 for sure.
We're old and cranky and unable to do this anymore. Can you give me some words of encouragement?
Absolutely. I would like to say a caveat that I have now forgotten everything I've ever said before in my life. So if I do start repeating things,
It's okay.
Just accepted it was needed for that day.
To be fair, I don't remember what you said last week, so.
Me either. But it wasn't this one because I do gather a few at a time and favorite them. And once I run out of favorites, I have to go gather more. And I did not have to go gather more today. Therefore, I know this wasn't from last week.
Perfect.
And one day she discovered that she was fierce and strong and full of fire, and that not even she could hold herself back because her passion burned brighter than her fears. Mark Anthony.
You definitely have done that one before, but like years ago.
It feels like something I would have done before.
Yeah.
I read Mark Anthony, I was like, I'm sure I've said this.
Yeah. I don't think it was any time in the recent future, but over the 5 years of us doing this podcast, it definitely has come up.
But it's something you needed to hear again, probably.
I think so.
Something I needed to hear again, therefore,
yeah.
We all need it.
All right. Well, today, this is not going to be a very long episode of the podcast, I think, because when we talk about TV that is older than the internet fails me on so many levels. Because today we are wrapping up season 7 of Stargate SG-1. It is the end of an era. I always call it that because the show's not over, but it gets a little weird.
We're not dead.
We're not dead. Things just get a little weird from here on out. So Stargate SG-1 season 7 started in June of 2003 and went until March of 2004. However, for context on how difficult it was to find any information about this, there's like a Stargate news archive website that someone has made where they anytime Stargate is in the news or there's interviews and everything, they save it. However, there is a pre-website archive and a post-website archive, and the pre-website archive is until April of 2020 or April of 2004. So I'm talking pre-blogs, pre-internet blogs. Yeah. Is when this was. So I have some information that I have gathered from DVD commentary and IMDb and some of the people involved in the show's websites and whatnot. But in terms of when production dates and things like that, where it is very difficult to find any information. So we're just going to start with a quick recap of what season 7 was, because I feel like every 25 weeks, we realize that we do not remember 25 weeks ago. Because
for sure.
So yeah, because back in the days when seasons were actually 22 episodes long, that's half a year. And
it's so long.
Courtney didn't remember that I went to Florida 5 days ago.
I sure didn't. So that's yeah.
So we started the season with Fallen, which is the episode where Daniel crashes back down to a planet naked and memoryless, and we recover poor baby Daniel Jackson.
That sure was this season, wasn't it?
It sure was.
Jesus Christ. Okay. How strong.
Yeah, so this is the return. This season is the return of Daniel Jackson. We start with Fallen and move to Homecoming, which is when we go back to Jonas's planet. Anubis tries to take over his planet. Basically, we have to regain Daniel and then also get rid of Jonas.
Jonah. I don't know that I've ever called him the right name. I call him Jonah all the time.
No, it's Jonas.
Yeah.
The Jonas Brothers.
Right.
Not the guy who got swallowed by the whale.
Not the whale. Right.
And then after that, we have some very odd episodes in the middle of the season there. Or the beginning, we have Fragile Balance, where we have teenage Daniel Jackson, or not, I'm sorry, teenage Jack O'Neill. We have Orpheus, which is when Teal'c loses his symbiote. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is when he has to actually he already has no symbiote. That happened last season, but this is the first time he gets
Right.
hurt post symbiote, and he's
Oh, yeah.
actually going through therapy, and then like, and Braytak and T Ryak are sick because they're on that one work camp
Oh,
planet, and
yeah.
Braytak doesn't have enough troponin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then we have Revisions, which is the one where they go to that weird planet that's inside a bubble, and they have the earpiece that gets rid of their memories every day and people start walking out of the bubble into the death planet.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, followed
I only
by
vaguely remember that, but I do remember that.
followed by Lifeboat, which was the one where Daniel Jackson was 18 different people because they all like weirdly implanted themselves in his brain. Um, and the
Right.
consciousness download. Um, so again, we're now on episode 6, and really only 2 of them are about the overall plot of the show. um, episode 7 is Enemy Mine, where we go to the planet where the humans are fighting the indigenous Unas clan, and there's all that.
Mhm.
And Daniel and Chaka make peace. Um, then we have Space Race, where is quite literally the video game outer space episode. Um,
Mhm.
Avenger 2.0, where Dr. Folger does some weird shit again, because that's what he does. And we have the gate virus. Um, then we have Birthright, which is the free female Jaffa tribe, where episode that Christopher Judge wrote.
Oh, I always forget you wrote that episode.
Yeah. And then episode 11 and 12 is Evolutions Part 1 and 2. And that is the episode where the that's the episode where Daniel goes to Honduras and gets kidnapped, and they find the ancient technology in the
And what's his
jungle.
face is with him and sucks at being a captive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And they discover the Cull Warriors and that Anubis has these new super soldiers. Oh. Then we move on to the weird dream sequence portion of the season where we have Grace with the episode where Sam is on a spaceship hallucinating everything with baby Allison.
Yes, yes.
We have Fallout where Jonas comes back and is in love with a Goa'uld, and they take a missile down to the center of the planet.
Mhm.
Then we have Chimera where Osiris also creeps into Daniel's dreams, and we meet Sam's boyfriend. Um, then we have Death Knell, which is the episode where the Tok'ra Telri Jaffa treaty falls apart.
That was a big one.
That was a
That
big
was a big
one.
one that I said was a big one, and you were like, things get bigger. It's like, I don't
Yes.
know. I don't
And
know
you were
what
like,
they do.
and you're like, how could they? Until we get to the next episode, which is Heroes Part 1 and 2. And obviously,
Mhm.
that is the death of Janet Fraser.
Eek.
We
Worse.
have,
Got worse.
get worse. We have Resurrection, which is the weird Nazi doctor and the lady with a Gould in her head drawing pictures and killing people. Then we have
Mhm.
what is really a one a clip show followed by a 2-part episode, but it really kind of is a 3-part episode, and that is
Yeah.
the introduction of the new president. So we have inauguration and Lost Cities Part 1 and 2. And it is the new, and that's why it's the new era of Stargate. Things are kind of brand new. We end the season at a very, very big cliffhanger. We have found a bunch of new ancient technology on Earth. However, we still do not know anything about the lost city. and Jack is in suspended animation.
He's low-keyed.
He's low-keyed. And that was, in fact, meant to be the end of the show. When, and this is where the timelines and things are really kind of confusing because I can't find enough information. But they always knew that they were going from at least midway through the season, I believe. They knew that they were going to be able to do Atlantis. Atlantis was greenlit. They knew they were getting a new show. However, they thought that Stargate would end and Atlantis would pick up the torch and that it would be a brand new thing. And part of that had to do with a part of that, and a lot of that really had to do with the cast of SG-1 kind of needing a break.
Been a minute, so.
It has been a minute, and it's a long show, and it's a lot of work, and none of them are really wearing one hat. So it is. So they thought it was going to end. However, from what I can understand, and I know we talked a lot about this when we talked about the Lost City Part 1 and 2, and the idea that it was meant to be a big hurrah movie, and they kind of chopped it into pieces and turned it into 2 episodes. And from what I understand, during filming and script writing, they believed that the show was being canceled. However, I do think that they found out prior to the end of the production block that they had been picked up. So they were able to do, like, in editing and cinematography, they were able to make it clear that it was a cliffhanger, not a bow, like not a final bow. But when they first originally wrote the episodes, they weren't, which is why this script is kind of like overly epic. Basically, but because they found out so late in production, they basically like finished production and then immediately went into the writer's room. And by the time that episode aired, they'd already written 10 episodes for season 8.
Oh man.
Not all 10 episodes ended up actually being the episodes that they used, and some things got changed and everything, but they did have the first 5 episodes like solidly done, basically before the end of March. That episode, Lost City Part 2, is the final regular appearance of Donna S. Davis as General Hammond. Which they don't say, but they kind of hint enough. He goes to the White House, he moves to Washington, he gets this new job. And I know we talked early in our ramblings of Stargate about him being sick and passing away before the show ends. However, he did not have cancer at this point.
Right. I don't know if I accidentally saw it or if you told me that he left before he actually got sick.
Yes, he left before he actually got sick. And it was actually his idea to write General Hammond out of the show. Not because of his own personal desire to be out of the show. This is why I love this man. Richard Dean Anderson, we talked on the season 6 wrap up that he really started to pull away. He had just had a daughter during season 6. He was really trying to focus more on his family. He was older. He was much older when he had a kid than a lot of other people are.
Yeah.
But Jack is such a part of the show that Don actually went to Robert Cooper and Brad Wright, and I don't know if Jomo and Paul were part of this conversation, but he went to them, and he said, I think, in military terms, no one holds a position as a general of the base without a promotion for as long as he did. And he was like, but I think the best choice story-wise is for Hammond to leave and for Jack to take over the SGC so that Richard's role in the show is now as limited as Don's was. Because we had plenty of episodes where Hammond wasn't in the episode and it didn't affect the plot.
Yeah.
However, the episodes where Jack wasn't in the episode, it was obvious.
Right.
So he was like, in order for Jack's character to have growth, for the show to keep going, for like once they found out that season 8 was going to happen, Don was like, listen, Hammond's got to go. Like, so that Jack can take over and that you guys have more freedom with writing. Because a lot of the weird one off episodes in season 7 are bad. Like, just point blank, they are bad. And the writers will even say that. But they were writing around the idea of Jack not being there. And for the star of your show to be written around is a very, very hard place to be as a writer. And Don loved the show and he loved the cast. And so he was like, let's take a back seat so that they can do this better. So it was actually his choice to do that, which I know we talked about this off air. You had seen a spoiler that Jack takes over for Hammond. So that's how you knew Jack wasn't going to go before Hammond was.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what's happening. Obviously, we don't know how it gets there because, Jack is stuck in suspended animation right now.
Right.
But the choice for Hammond to get the promotion and work in the White House was done specifically to try to refresh the show because season 7 and it's working around other people's schedules, mostly Richard's, was making the show very stale. However, Richard is still an executive producer. He did basically bring the show into what it is, and the fans of Stargate wouldn't have existed if MacGyver didn't exist, like at least at the beginning. And so it would be kind of disrespectful to just like bump his character without a good reason.
Yeah.
So that is like the big, big change for this season. Which of course was really fascinating because the summer of 2004, like now we're really at the point where the internet exists. And like I said, internet blogs are not what they were, finding news archives and finding actual like stuff about it. We didn't live in the 24-hour news cycle yet, but we did still live in the internet rumors cycle. And the number of like rumors about who the new member of the team would be, because Stargate's going to be a 4-person team. And there was a lot of rumors going around about a new female character joining the show and it being an archaeologist and like blah, blah, blah. And Joma was like, I can't tell you anything, but I can tell you this internet created character, Dr. Greer, that everyone is saying is joining the team as an archaeologist, is not going to happen because Daniel's already the archaeologist on the team.
It doesn't make sense. You don't take the head of the SGC, the main military guy who has the most experience in the military, who's the best leader, and replace him with an architect. I mean, an archaeologist. I think it's archaeologist, but you have to have balance there, and we already have an archaeologist. Why on earth would you try and do that? Like maybe a high-ranking, like woman in the military, maybe move Sam up and then bring in another Sam or something. I don't know. Like that's fine, but you don't just change their role. It sets off the balance of the team.
Yeah. And obviously a new character joining the team is not going to be the first thing to tackle in season 8.
Sure.
We just destroyed Anubis, and Jack is stuck in suspended animation, and we still have this giant question mark about the city of Atlantis, and Dr. Weir is now in charge of the SGC. So, what do you think is going to happen in season? And
I mean, I knew you were going to ask this, and I still don't know what I'm going to say. Okay, I'm going to take it piece by piece, I think.
Okay.
So, I really was thinking that this was the end for Jack. I thought this was how they were setting him off. But then I remember the spoiler that I saw that you re-brought up. So obviously that's not what happened.
Yeah, and for those of you who are not, those of you who are like, oh, I can't believe she talked about such a big plot point before we actually even get to season 8, I only was willing to go that deep into the Donna Davis Richard Dean Anderson story because Courtney already knew that Jack takes over the SGC.
And I know that it's not very long, so like this isn't going to be a spoiler for very long.
Yes, and I will say, in the interviews that took place in the summer of 2003, Richard Dean Anderson already said he said, I'm definitely back for season 8, and he said, I don't think I will come back after. If there is an SG-1 after season 8, I will not be a part of it. And people were like, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I need to prioritize my family. And he goes, and I'm old.
Yeah. I've now been on 2 long-running hit shows.
Yeah.
I need a break.
I need a break. And so, but to be fair, Jack's character, for as beautiful as an ending as this would be, Jack's character deserves more than just being stuck in a box in Antarctica and us never addressing it again. So even if we addressed it just to address that he could not come back, we would have to address it again. Like,
right.
And I've also kind of spoiled the fact that Dr. Weir is more important in Stargate Atlantis than she is in this show, and so there has to be some additional shakeup at the SGC. So
yeah. So I don't know Dr. Weir enough to make any things about her and expectations. I believe you. That is what I have about her. Yes, she will be big, and we'll see her in the future.
Well, not her, but the character, not
right. The character, not the actress. Right. We did talk about that last episode. I don't think they're bringing a female into the group. It's just not going to be a woman. It'd be cool if it was. It'd be a fun dynamic. It's not going to be. I know how TV works. That's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll get another cast member. It could be a Black man. Sometimes they do that when you're like, bring in another woman. They're like, we'll bring in someone else who's diverse, but still a man. So maybe it's a Black man that comes in for our 4th person. Who's to say? But I think it's going to have to be a military person. It's not going to be another scientist or archaeologist. Like, we have to have a military presence. And at this point Sam is military, but Sam is military with heavy science. Mm-hmm. And like Tilka's technically military, but he's more like, he's not US military. He is, but he's not. Like, that's not what his values are raised in. And then Daniel's just not. He's just not military. Like, that just is what it is. He's just not. He'll never leave. Now that he's back, he's there forever, I have no doubt. I think Sam and Tilka are gonna hang to the end. I don't think they're gonna leave either. I think they're part of this cast. Like, I think those 3 are gonna be here till the end. I know we have like 3 seasons left, but like, yeah, I think we're pretty solid with them. Let's see. So Hammond's gone. God, I hope Kenzie's like shut down. Like, I know they sent him away, but like, right. I hope he's like for real shut down and like not gonna just make another resurgence like he has 17 times. We gotta see Asgard again soon. We got to, like, especially now that we're like not friends with anyone, now that we don't have any friends left. Yeah. Like, the Asgard, and especially like before Jack leaves, we're gonna have to see Asgard,
especially with where Jack is right now, the only people that can save us from Jack's current situation are the Ancients or the Asgard. So we have to head
his bestie.
Yeah, we have to head back into one of those directions.
Yeah, and we'll definitely see more on the Ancients too. But like, I think the Asgards are the ones that are coming through first. I think they're the ones gonna clear up the situation. Thor and Jack are gonna have a real to-do, whatnot, as besties, and the Asgards are gonna stay strong as an ally. And maybe that's more hopeful than true, but we'll see. Because I really thought that the Jaffa would also stay a little more. I know that they were like technically our biggest like enemy in the beginning, but I really did think they would stay a little bit more true. And the who's our friends that are no longer our friends?
Tok'ra.
I thought both of those were like solid allies. So I'm a little bummed about that. I think they'll both have a part in this next season. I don't know what that looks like. But maybe because Kinsey's gone and our new president seems all right. Um, I know we're gonna get more into other nationalities with Stargate Atlantis, so maybe we also are
Mhm.
gonna do that with SG-1. I mean, the president has talked about that, so I don't know why we wouldn't
Right.
see more of that. So maybe we start seeing more like foreign Earth alliances that are creating as opposed to foreign alien alliances. Maybe that's why
Yeah.
everyone left to set us up for this new Earth alliance. I don't know. Those are some thoughts of things I have.
Okay. Who do you think our big bad's gonna be with Anubis gone?
Oh gosh, Anubis is gone. Um, oh gosh, Anubis was the big bad because Osiris and Isis are gone now.
Hmm.
Um, oh man. I mean, we haven't come back to the replicators in a while. And I imagine we'll come back to them at some point because they really, really evolved from the first time we saw them to the last time we saw them.
Correct.
So I
100%.
imagine that timeline will speed itself up again and they'll be back to the present as opposed
Yeah.
to 1 millionth of a millisecond or whatever they're in right now.
Right.
So maybe the replicators, but also maybe someone new. Like, I mean, I
What
know
do
we're
you,
starting Atlantis.
yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, do you think that the System Lords of the Gold are done though, without Anubis?
No, we still
Okay.
have like you is still around. I don't think we killed Ball
We
yet,
did,
did
no, we
we?
did not kill
I
Paul
don't.
yet.
And like I don't think Ball's gonna be like our next big bad. Like I don't think he's big and bad enough. I guess, but like I don't. I don't think they're done. I think he's still gonna try and come back. I just don't think he's gonna have the same power that Anubis did.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, and there's always a possibility that you becomes an ally. There's always that small possibility.
my favorite.
But yeah, so like we still, I mean, the system lords are still there. They're still gonna come
Yeah,
back. I think we're still gonna have to deal with them in some way, whether it's as calling a truce or
right.
taking them out. I mean, that's the reason that no one's our friend anymore, is because of the
Truly.
system lords. So like we have to deal with that in some way, which means they're gonna
Yeah,
have to come back.
yeah.
Are there any other system lords that I'm forgetting? Everyone else died, right? Like the ones we've already talked
I'm
about.
trying to remember who we
Because I know
have
there's someone on the
met.
council, but we haven't really talked about them, or they've died, or they're following you.
Yeah, let's see, a list of all the System Lords. Huh.
Oh, good. This won't take
This
longer than
one,
I want to go through.
this will be great. No, I don't want a definition. Okay. Um, no. So Anubis, we've taken care of. Apophis, we've taken care of. Aries, I don't know. No,
We
we
haven't really
haven't.
talked about
We
Ares,
haven't
though.
really
He's the
talked.
god of
His,
war.
yeah, his name has been mentioned, but we haven't met him yet.
He could be a
Um,
big bad. I mean, Ares is the god of war, so like,
exact. So we have Baal. Um, did yeah, Bastet? She's dead. No, I don't know. Did we even meet her yet? Yes, we did. Bastet was at the summit.
yeah, we
Um,
don't we don't know her that well, but
we
she
don't
was
know her that
there.
she's not dead yet, so she's
Yeah,
still around. Yeah, sorry, she's
I
not.
mean, yeah.
Um, I'm like just trying to look at go. So Kronos is dead. I'm just trying to find the ones that I know we've talked about but aren't dead. Egeria is gone. She was not really a system lord.
I was like, I don't remember her.
She's the mother of the Tauri. Or I'm sorry, of the
Oh,
Tok'ra, the mother of the
sure.
Tok'ra.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Hathor
yeah.
is dead. Heror is dead. Um, Isis is dead. Kali we met at the summit, but we have not seen again.
Yeah.
Um, Marduk is dead. Mm, Moloch is dead. Yeah. Nearty is dead. Olakun is, we met at the summit, but we have not seen again since then.
Right.
Osiris is dead. Um, Ra is dead. Seth is dead. Sokar is dead. Svarog is, we saw him like for a hot second and then never again. Um, and you is still out there.
Yep.
And nobody else that is, there's like, this has a lot of people listed that are not actually like really in the show. They just like exist in like they've talked about like Tiamat. We never see Tiamat. We've never talked about Tiamat. She was never in the show. She was just mentioned when we were with Marduk and the Eye of Tiamat.
Right.
So she's on the list as having been a system lord, but like
Which is
not,
not actually relevant.
but she's not actually relevant. Yeah, so we have the three or four that we met at the summit and then haven't seen since then, and then which would include, I guess would include Baal.
Would include Ball.
Baal. So Baal, so yeah, so basically everyone left from the summit except for Osiris and Anubis is who is still out there.
Yeah.
However, none of them really have seemed to be big bad material.
Right.
At least not yet. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's kind of my vibe.
okay. Now just a little housekeeping in terms of what is coming up. So we are going to do the DNA awards next week, which we are only including seasons 4, 5, 6, and 7, which I'm already overwhelmed thinking about that. So, like, thank God we're not doing it after season 10, right? Like, could you imagine? So, we're doing DNA awards for seasons 4 through 7, just seasons 4 through 7, which Godspeed to both of us trying to choose awards for that. And then we will start Stargate Era 3.0, I guess, because we did seasons 1 through 3.
Hey.
And then we did 4 to 7. So now we're in Stargate Era 3.0.
And it's 11 seasons, right? How many seasons we got?
We have 10 of this.
Of SG-1. Okay.
Of SG-1. 10 of SG-1, yeah. But so when we do
3 more seasons of SG-1.
Yes, we have 3 more seasons of SG-1. It will take us longer than 3 normal seasons though, because we are mixing in seasons 1 through 3 of Atlantis. So it'll be like 45 episodes a season instead of 25, basically. But I wanted, for anyone who is listening to or watching this podcast who has seen Stargate, who knows what's going on, Amazon. Okay, so season 8 of Stargate starts with episodes 1, which is called A New Order Part 1, and 2, New Order Part 2. Always listed as 2 split episodes. Aired together as one long episode. One, like it aired on the same day, one long episode, but always listed as a 2-part episode. However, Atlantis episode 1 is called Rising. And on IMDb, it is listed as 1 episode. In the episode count of the show, it is listed sometimes as 1 episode, sometimes as 2 episodes. On Amazon, it is listed as 2 episodes. In the count that I have of the watch order for this, it is listed as 2 episodes. So we are going to be watching New Order Part 1, New Order Part 2, Rising Part 1, Rising Part 2. So if you are somebody who has the DVDs or who is following the IMDb listing, Rising is on Amazon Prime 2 episodes, not 1.
I will put our watch order on the social media.
Yeah. We will definitely
as a pinned post so you can find it.
Yeah, as we will definitely be going as we go through, we will every week we'll be make sure you know what we're watching next. But I just wanted to make sure we are starting with season 8, and it is going to be both two-part episodes as two-part episodes, not as one long episode. Because it's very confusing. Because
What a
it's
fun
it's just
time.
frustrating because like IMDb has it listed as one episode. Some of the watch guides have it listed as one episode, but Amazon has it listed as two episodes.
I'm so thrilled that that is your job to figure out. It's not mine. I just get to
Yes.
show up and watch what you tell me to watch.
Yes. So today, if you are watching this on the day that it airs, where's my list of what day it is in the world that is in the future? When
The future world.
in the future world where these today is June 22nd. Um
Is it? What a wild time to be
what a
alive.
wild time. So next Sunday,
Happy
June.
birthday, Rachel. It was yesterday. Her birthday's the 21st.
Oh, happy birthday, Rachel. It is
What good time
June,
for you to tell me what
June,
day it is.
yeah, June 22nd. It's mine and Dan's anniversary of when we
Hey,
started
happy
dating.
anniversary.
Happy anniversary to me. Not even. That's so far away.
Woo,
Um,
woo.
but so the
Yes.
next week, on June 29th, we'll be doing the DNA awards. And then, so our month of July for Stargate will be the two. It'll be 8-1, 8-2. Atlantis 1-1, 1-2.
Yeah, I'm gonna really have to refer back to our dates of release because I also want to do for the DNA awards. You'll have already seen this probably by the time it comes out, hopefully.
Yeah.
I want to try and do like every day.
Like teasers leading up to the DNA
I want to do
awards.
like a vote. Like I want to do a vote for the award. Like here's 4 people we think it could be. Who would you vote for the DNA
Mm,
awards
okay.
leading up to it? So I need to make sure
Yeah,
I'm accurate.
I just wanna remind you that the DNA awards are coming out June 29th, and I don't know what your brain will be like at the end of June. So don't commit yourself to that.
No, no, I'm just saying that's what I'm hoping to do.
Okay, perfect.
But I think I need to figure out if you can pre-post to everything. I don't know if you can to Instagram. You couldn't to Instagram. I need to figure out if they've updated that. If they've updated it, I will post it tomorrow and schedule it. And then you'll be fine.
Yeah,
Not
I
tomorrow, but I will
that's the
let you get
thing.
and schedule
I
it.
know you can't for an Instagram story.
That's the issue.
Yeah, I
That's
know
the
you
problem.
can't for an Instagram story because anyone who follows me on my personal Instagram knows that I have a highly curated, very ridiculous collection of memes and photographs that I post every day on my story. I'm
For sure.
there. My Instagram story is where I put all of my energy.
It
Um,
sure is.
and I have tried to pre-public pre-publish the posts and it does not work.
Can you make it like a draft and then just post it to story later?
Oh yeah, but I also all of them are memes that I already have saved in a curated collection that I just then post to my story when I'm going through
But
my
I could
day.
set up drafts and then all I have
You
to do
could yeah, you
is
could set
push
up
post.
giraffes. You just have to actually go in and push post when you need to do it, I
Sure.
think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah, we'll see where we are in June.
just don't do drafts on Facebook because I can never find them again.
Okay.
If you try to
I
make it if
never
you
get on Facebook.
no, I know, but every time I've ever accidentally like been typing something on Facebook and then had to go away and then it'll be like, this will be saved to your drafts. I swear to God, Facebook drafts don't exist. Don't know where
They
they
just
are.
throw it away.
They're gone.
What a fun time.
Yeah.
Facebook.
So I know that episode was actually longer than I thought it was going to be. It was still not long. It is because this show does not have a lot of theorizing to do in terms of like, this major story arc, blah blah blah, what could
Yeah.
happen. It's not like the horror shows in that case. And I don't have a ton of fun production stuff to talk about. And um, I mean, we did have some big cast shakeups at the end of this season.
Right.
We've lost two important cast members. But I I actually don't know. Hold on, I want to look at this real quick. Of the, I mean, I know that there will be additional cast members in the future. I don't know that any of the new big cast members show up in the beginning of the season. Like the first couple episodes, I really do think it is entirely just a continuation of where we were. No, we do get some interesting characters. But yeah, it is not, it really does pick up basically exactly where we left off. Um,
That's good news. That's good news.
so
I like that for us because I'm sure I'm gonna want to know what happens.
oh, I'm so excited. There's some interesting things that happen in season 8. Um, and I will give you one quick teaser for season 8. Um, season 8 um, has one major change that has quite literally no explanation.
Like when you say change, do you mean like story change? Do you mean like visual change? Do you mean like
Oh, it's
cast
a
change?
very visual change.
Okay, cool.
Um, when you see it, you will know. When you see it, you will know. Um, and there has never and will never be an explanation for it.
Excellent. Love that. Love that. So we can make one up, is what you're telling me.
What?
We can make one
Oh
up.
yeah, I mean, I have my semi-canon theories of what it is, but there is never an actual explanation. And anyone who has watched this, who's watched our SG-1, knows exactly what I'm talking about. It is that wild.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
excited and
So
nervous.
yeah, so if you have thoughts about the DNA awards, if you have thoughts about my major season 8 spoiler, or thoughts about the Atlantis SG-1 crossover conundrum that is going to be happening for the next 4 years of my life, feel free to reach out to us at deathandaliens@gmail.com or on all of the social media at Death and Aliens. You can follow me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And you can find me at CE Cloud 13.
And we will see you on no, Thursday. That's the day that
That's
we
how
talk
thrillers
about.
work.
That's when we talk about Clarice.
Yay.
Bye.